Do you think the economy is doing well? Why or why not?
I'm hoping that it gets better. It seems like it might be getting better, but over the last 10 years, no, it hasn't been doing well.
As an American, how do you think the economy affects you?
It affects me just by going to the store and buying things. Everything's really expensive. People are out of work and people are struggling, so...
Where do you see the economy in the future?
I think that it's going to, jobs in general are going to shift, where it's going to be a lot of change with what kind of jobs and technology is going to be available, and people are going to have to kind of change with it.
Unemployment is an important economic indicator. The rate is at 8.1% currently. What is your opinion on this? Has the unemployment rate ever affected you or a loved one?
I see personally students having trouble getting jobs and younger people struggling. It's harder definitely to get in and make a living nowadays. I find it harder. It has definitely affected me personally. My husband has been out of work a few times, so definitely I've struggled because of that.
How has this and other economic indicators such as inflation affected you? How can this also affect other Americans? How can we as Americans care more about the economic change?
As far as inflation, I definitely see it, in my own pocket. As far as when I go to fill up my car with gas, it's very expensive. I'm definitely monitoring how much I'm driving and going. I'm taking things much more seriously. Well, I think we have to decide, as far as consumers, how we want to spend our money, and if we want to, give our money to smaller businesses and farms, and we can control how we spend our money.
Do you have any of your own ideas that could help improve the economy?
I'd like to see, the initiatives that have been happening with small business and startup businesses, people being able to, to do those types of things. And also, I think it's a good thing now that the banks are being way stricter about giving out money for loans, because that's where a lot of our problems came from.
Hi, I'm Kelsey. Welcome to the show. Tonight we are talking about details on the economy. Yes, the state of economy in America is in the middle of a crisis. Many people agree that we no longer manufacture what we need to sustain ourselves. We import much more than we export, and we are selling off our assets and taking on massive debts to sustain a standard of living we can no longer afford. These examples are reasons to why the economy is not doing very well. Having an economy like this is bad for America and the Americans because it creates less jobs for Americans. Being unemployed makes it hard to pay off our bills. Be in an expansion period in 2012. Luckily, unemployment and housing picture is improving and the economy is going the right way. However, Americans have difficult opinions on exactly how the economy is doing and where it is going in the future. The United States is well on the road to recovery. Now over to you, Brenna.
Thank you. As we all know, America has gotten out of a recession, which occurred in the last two quarters of 2008 and the first two quarters of 2009, which would be about a year of recession. So, we are now onto the next phase of the business cycle, the recovery stage. The recovery stage has rising employment and production. The unemployment rate went down from 10% in 2009 to 8.1% in April 2012. We are not in an inflamed production, but we are completely deflated, which is not where we would like to be either. Some reasons for our economic downturn can be detected to internal factors, or factors within the economy that cause the economy to move up and down, which include things like government spending, which right now is at $6.3 trillion total spending, with $1 trillion just on pensions and $1.1 trillion on healthcare. Or it could be consumer spending, which right now is at a 3-day rolling average of $87 and a 14-day rolling average of $73 as of May 20, 2012. Or it could also be external factors, which are factors outside the economy that causes the economy to move up and down, which can also include things like major wars, like World War II, which went from 1939 to 1945, or it can be caused by terrorist attacks like 9/11. This means that the economy will get better, but it will take a while to do so.
Oh my gosh, this is so cute. It's so much money. I cannot afford this.
Excuse me, I can help you.
Huh?
Well, and then download that picture onto the moneymaker or a large robotic M&M. Then you press the M&M on the M&M and the amount of money you want or need. Then the M&M magically just forms legal dollar bills for you in exact change.
Oh my goodness, are you kidding me? That's awesome. Where can I get one?
You can get it almost anywhere. Well, not yet, but just go to www.iwantmymoneymaker.org or you can call 1-800-MY-MONEY. That's 1-800-696-6639. You can get it in colors of red or blue.
Wow, this sounds so amazing. I'm going to go home right now and buy one. But how much money does it cost?
But it's an affordable price based on your budget. It's a price of $39.99 with shipping and handling. The best part is you can pay for it now and then take back the money when you start using it.
Sorry, I need to go home now. I have to buy one of these money makers. Oh, thank you. That is so kind of you. Now I can always get what I need and want whenever I want. Say, this is a good way to get the economy going.
Isn't it?
Thanks, Moneymaker.
Reasons why the economy is doing how it is can be shown from economic indicators. Economic indicators are statistics that represent how the economy is doing. An example of one current economic indicator is personal income, or the income received by a single individual. This has increased $15.3 billion in March. Also, the disposable personal income, DPI, increased 0.4% in March, and real disposable income increased 0.2% in March. Also, GDP is another economic indicator. Breaking news. The GDP, or gross domestic product, is currently at $14.72 trillion. Recently, the GDP has gone up 2.2% in quarter one. CPI is currently at 0 since April, which means that there's no inflation, but we're actually in a deflation, while the CPI in March was 0.3. There is also the unemployment rates as another economic indicator, which of course every American knows about. Unemployment is currently at 8.1% and has been decreasing 0.1% since January. In total, it has gone down by 1% since last May. This means that more Americans are getting jobs and that we are currently in a recovery or the time after a recession. We went to schools and asked some staff members their opinion on this topic.
As an American, how do you think the economy affects you personally?
Well, I find that during a recession, it seems like everything's getting more expensive and that your dollar doesn't go as far.
Do you see the economy going in the future?
It's going to go up because it has to. I need it to. I think America needs to move more towards, realizing what we're good at again. We used to be a country that built things. We don't do that anymore, and that we need to kind of go back to that, or really accept that we're going to be more of a healthcare kind of country and really focus on that. But
unemployment is an important economic indicator. This rate is at 8.1% currently. What is your opinion on this, and has the unemployment rate ever affected you or a loved one?
Thankfully, the unemployment rate has not affected me. Anytime I graduated from school was when jobs were in abundance. So it really hasn't, and none of my loved ones have lost their jobs because of it. But it's horrifying for students coming out of college that you spend all this money to go to a school that you're supposed to get a job, and you come out and you can't get a job.
How has this and other economic indicators such as inflation affected just you or like a person that you know? And how can this also affect other Americans?
To travel as much because of it. Our dollar is not that good. It's cutting down on my travel. I think it's, again, I see people, I've never seen so many people with coupons when I go to the grocery store. Yeah. And I think that's where you see it, is that families that are lower income are really struggling. And they're just doing everything they possibly can.
How can we Americans care more about the economic change?
I think we have to start helping one another. I think we have to stop turning a blind eye to the fact that people are out of work and people are homeless. And we have to start helping one another and just, not pass by like we like to do.
Do you have any of your own ideas that could help improve the economy?
Well, besides Jonathan Swift's eating babies concept, which you'll learn about when you're a junior, I don't know that I can think of anything else. That might solve our economic problem, but it might be a little rude as well.
What is the worst part of the economy in your opinion, and why do you think it is doing so poorly?
Well, again, I think part of it's because we haven't quite found our identity as what we want to be now that we've lost, that we manufacture things. We don't do it anymore. We've lost that to other countries. So until we find what our new identity is going to be, we're not going to have a new economy. So.
The economy of the U.S. is making a slow recovery from its recent recession, but there are still measures that can be taken to push the economy further along in its recovery. For example, it's a good idea to keep the allowance on who can receive loans low. Loans are based on trust and should not be given to those who are not deserving of it. Also, the government should encourage more small businesses to take off, and people should be more conscious of where they are spending their money, and focus more on only buying what is necessary and not throwing their money away. Additionally, by opening up more businesses, it will free up more jobs for many unemployed Americans. The unemployment rate is currently at 8.1%, and there is an average of about 3.2 unemployed people for every one job. This means that there is only enough jobs for about 1/3 of the unemployed population. Overall, in my opinion, the economy is still heading towards a slow recovery.